Tell me, why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long. Tell me, why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long, want you all night, watch 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 all night. Tell me, why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long. Baby, now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long. Give me all your love, baby. Give me all your love, baby. Give me all your love, all your love, all your love. Give me all your love, baby. Give me all your love, baby. Give me all your love, all your love, all your love. Watch all night, 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 watch all night. Tell me, why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long. hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling, go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art. You should know that you are perfect with those flaws. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Know that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling, go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling, go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Shine, go ahead and shine, darling, go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling, go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. Last time, but I'm right. Say you come back in and things complications. You withdraw and leave me to be. When there's a problem, you become like a wall. And every time I trip, it's a free fall. Why don't you help me the way I help you? You don't have to save me, just be my parachute. When I'm feeling down, you're just not there, making sure I'm okay. Why don't you help me the way I help you?
singing. You don't want me to sing. You do not want me to sing. I think we're going to keep some music going today, by the way. Hello, everybody. How's it going? Oh, it's so good to be here today. You ever have a funky kind of day, funky kind of week, and then there's something that you just love to do and look forward to? That is this right here, hanging out with you. Definitely get those questions ready. We're doing live Q&A today. Look, I don't have a specific topic today. I just posted earlier. I was like, look, this stream is up to you. So I actually have some questions that some people posted in the group before, we were ready to go live. I see Dale Bishop's got a question. I see that SmackDown is ready to go, right? Ready to go. Oh, look, we have a new one. I'm new, but you seem great. Well, Felicia, we have something special for you. Are you ready? That's what we do. That's what we do for our newbies. That's what we do. Boom. Some fire for you too. That's what we do for our new members, our new audience members. So definitely let us know where you're watching from. I see we got people from all over the place. It is cold in Indiana. It is cold. Annette's here. Hello, Annette. Happy Thursday to you, my dear. It's good to see you in the comments live with us today. So this is going to be great. Okay, we're doing live Q&A. I'm using StreamYard. This is of course, y'all know how much I love StreamYard, right? I'm a StreamYard partner, but man, there's so many cool things coming this year from that team and that application. I'm pretty excited about it. In fact, right before I was live, I was talking with Joanne. We were talking about Social Media Marketing World. So we're going to be attending Social Media Marketing World. I'm going to be there. There is a possibility that I will be wearing a costume. That might happen. So if you're going to be at Social Media Marketing World, get ready, because it might be kind of crazy. Might be kind of fun. Might be kind of crazy. We're going to have a lot of fun. So, okay. John Pullum's here says, I don't have to mow the lawn, but need to go snow blow what fell yesterday. 14 inches predicted, but we got 3 inches or so. That's it? Wow. So we were supposed to get it was all over the place. First it was 15 to 18. Then it was maybe 10 to 15. Then it was maybe 8 to 12. I think we've gotten 6 so far, maybe 5. I bet you we get 8 total, maybe. So it's not that bad, totally manageable, actually pretty fun. But John says he hates the snow. Well, John, you might want to find somewhere else to live besides Michigan, my friend. Michigan is a lot of snow up there. So yeah, Mel the StreamYard duck. We're literally going to get a duck costume, you guys. We're going to order a duck costume. And I was like, I feel professionally qualified to wear the duck, considering I was my high school mascot for 3 years. So it'll be bringing some stuff back for me. It's going to be bringing some stuff. Vicky is in Alberta, Canada. Yeah, -4 below zero up there. Woo, that is cold. It's going to be cold here like that tomorrow. I know that for sure. It's going to be kind of crazy. So, okay, let's see here. All right, so today what we do is if you have questions about live streaming, marketing, social media, all those fun things, post them in the comments. Like I said, I've got some questions up in the queue. I'm going to switch my music up. We're going to go with I'm using Epidemic Sound music currently, in case anyone was wondering. But background music has now been released inside StreamYard. So every single one of you who uses a StreamYard application, you can absolutely use background music in your streams for free. And it's copyright-free music. So it is safe to use, which is obviously pretty important when it comes to those things. So definitely one of those things you want to make sure. So before we get too much further, if you do want to try StreamYard and you haven't signed up yet, you can actually try the 14-day free trial of the pro account. Now, once your 14 days is done, you're actually going to just be on a free account, which the free account gets you so many features. You get to do so many things with even just a free account. Share your screen, have guests on with you. You can put the banners and overlays like I have here. You can create those, use those as well. Share videos from your computer. I mean, you can have a teammate help you with your streams. You can have background music. All those things are in the free account. So free account's awesome. The pro account will get you 1080p streaming, multi-streaming, more people on screen possibly. So if you have big events. And then, of course, you can have custom overlays and things like the fire, right? So yeah. So if you want to give that a try, just go to melaniediane.com/StreamYard and you will be able to get yourself hooked up with a free pro plan. Lauren made it. She's here. Hello, Lauren. It's good to see you here. Super excited. I see we have Whittier as well with some questions as well. So yes, if you have questions, then make sure you put those questions in the comments with the queue in front. That's how I find it. Put it in my queue, and then the queue goes in the queue. I just thought of that. So I use the starred feature of the StreamYard and put it in the queue. So it's pretty awesome. But before I do that, what we're going to do is, I had to say hello to Charles, who's in Florida. So Florida, thank you. I hope it's nice and warm and toasty down there. I can actually show you guys what it looks like here in a sec with the snow, because I got a new toy. Have you guys ever seen these? Have you ever seen these before? Right here. Have you ever seen these? This is an HDMI adapter for my phone. Oop, oop, beep, beep, beep. It's all right. I don't want to highlight my broken finger any more than I have to. But this allows me to plug my phone in to my Blackmagic ATEM Mini, which is this device right here, which has both of my cameras going into it. But now I have an HDMI cable right here that I just plug in here, like so. Okay. All of you, if this Blackmagic ATEM Mini has turned out to be a really great investment. It's only like $300 and allows me to switch between my two fancy cameras. Oops, I got to go to it. So I can go from that angle to that angle, right? Just by pushing those buttons. And here's why. I have a camera here and I have a camera here, right? Both of those mirrorless cameras do require dongle. It's hilarious. Is it a dongle? I think that's one of the words for it. Those require a capture card. And so you can buy capture cards for $80 to $150, $200. But if you want to use multiple cameras that require a capture card, then you have to go with a different solution. And so the Blackmagic, being only $300, is now my capture card for both of those cameras. But now with this fancy little device, I could also hook this into my iPad as well if I wanted to. But all I have to do is plug it in right here. Okay, so I'm plugging in the back of my camera, or back of my phone into the lightning deal. I'm going to open up the camera app, right? And watch this. Okay, so I'm back to my ATEM Mini. Hold on. Back to my ATEM Mini. This HDMI for the phone is number 3 right here. So go back to the ATEM. And as you can see, I have my Sony ZV-E10 right here. Then I also have my Sony a6100, which is over there. But now, look, I now have my phone as well, right? And I still got to figure out all the things I want to do with this. But remember how we were talking, this is one way I could give you guys a tour, right? But I can also, I can use it as a camera. Now there's a few things we can do here to change it. I just got this thing. I got to look at the right place. I just got this. So I haven't even played around with it too much. But if you notice all this stuff that you see, I can also do demos if I wanted to do a web demo. So like we talk about sometimes. So like here, you can see my podcast feed, right? So look, all the things in my podcast library, right? So I can show you stuff on my phone. So all of you that are like, how do I do phone demos? Remember how before I've talked about the Reflector app? Well, guess what? Yes. So Doug at SmackDown, you would need an HDMI cable and you need one of these little adapters. I got mine at Best Buy. It was not cheap because it's an Apple brand, but it's basically a Lightning to HDMI converter. It also has a USB-C out. I don't know what that does. I don't know if that would do the same thing, but then this just goes into your ATEM and now you have a mobile device. Again, I still got to kind of see what all I want to do there, see what all we can do with that. But that's just something I picked up. So that's my new toy. I know y'all like to see the new toys, right? So that's definitely something pretty, it's just fun, right? It's just one of those fun things. So I like to show the toys. Okay, let's do this. We're going to jump into Q&A. How much is not cheap? It was after tax, it was $58.84. There you go. It was like $54.99. It is an Apple Lightning HDMI adapter. You could probably find a cheaper one on Amazon that's not Apple brand. That would be the trick. But yeah, I still got to kind of play around with it, see what all I'd want to do with that. But so there you go. Does it work with Samsung phones? I would think that oh yeah, I forgot you're an Android guy. I would think that there's the exact same thing out there for an Android. So whatever your whatever. I mean, it's called the Lightning jack, right? For an Apple phone, whatever that jack is for you. If it's a micro or a mini USB, I think that's what they are. Then you would need the mini USB converter to HDMI, and then that HDMI cable goes into the back, and you go right into the Blackmagic A10 Mini. So there you go. So yes. Oh, look, we got Janine here. Video for Bosses. Hello. Welcome to the stream. All right. So now I think let me get these things. Let me get my banners changed. All right. Here we go. Janine is over in the Facebook group, Video for Bosses, and we are having a lot of fun over there. I just posted, and many of you are in the group. If you're not, definitely come hang out with us. It's a free community. If you want to, it's a place where people who are scrappy but not crappy and want to learn how to do cool things and how to learn marketing and DIY style. They're doing everything DIY style. That is what this group is for, right? And it's a community. I posted in the community a couple days ago, I think, and I posted pictures of all this. And I basically said, I think it's time for a change, because I am starting to, and it was funny. What was really funny about that is I made a comment about, I want something less cluttered. I think that's what I said. I think I said I wanted something less cluttered, which everyone was like, if that's clutter, what I meant by that was like all this, like if you look at the whole room as a whole, just in the corner, it doesn't have stuff everywhere, but it's a lot of stuff. Like, for example, all these lights, right? Oh, let me take that off so you can see what I'm talking about. All these lights like this, like there are 5 of those. There's 5 of those. I've got a speaker. I just have stuff everywhere. I'm kind of craving like a clean look. And part of it is just simply, I just need a little bit less, I think. Meaning just, I need to have a little less, right? But I know everyone likes the scene. So John said, your background looks so clean and neat. Leave it that way. Leave the way it is. This all works, right? But it's also a multifunctional room. So, I don't know. I'm just kind of ready for some change. I think I need to still face this way because I want that depth, right? I like the blurry background. I definitely think some things are fun. So I don't know. I've thought about changing the way I face. I've thought about all kinds of things that I could do different. I'll probably still face this way. I actually truly think that what's going to change is I'm just going to take all this out and get another, either something different over here or a different kind of thing behind me. And I'll still have some lights, but I want to be able to do some different things. I want to be able to have some more things on the wall. I want to try something different. So this is probably going to be coming down. We'll see what happens. John says, it has to make you happy. If you aren't happy with it, change it. Exactly, right? Exactly. Yeah, but I like changing things up. I like mixing things. So Dr. Elo's here. Hello, Dr. Elo. It's good to see you. Good to see you here hanging out with us. So, okay, so let me see here. I'm going to jump into questions. But first, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to first take the questions that were posted in the Facebook group, which is a perk you get in the Facebook group. When I do these live streams, I go live, but I also, I go live, but I schedule it. And so there's a post that'll say, we're doing a weekly Q&A. And if you are in my Facebook group and you post your questions in there, you're going to get first dibs. Your questions are going to come up first. And that's what we're going to do right meow, I think. Yes, we are. I'm uploading slides. I'm using the slide share feature in StreamYard where you can now, you don't have to share your screen to share the slides. You can literally just upload the slides in and directly, they're right inside StreamYard. You just pop them up and share them, which makes it pretty easy, but I didn't have them uploaded before. I was making the slides while we were doing the countdown. I don't know if any of you noticed that, if you were paying attention to the behind the scenes. When I had when I had this view up, I was making the slides right here. But one of the reasons why I'm doing it this way is because I have my monitor turned now, my second monitor. And if I share that screen, then it's going to literally share it and it's going to look like this. It literally is like the monitor, right? So it is the monitor, which is not necessarily what we want to do. Now I can open an application and I can share it, just the app, but I thought, well, why do that when I can just share my slides directly in? So that's what we're going to be doing. Once it's done uploading, why is it taking so long? It's taking a hot minute to upload those slides. So once those are done, we're going to jump into Q&A, or I'm going to have to or we're going to have to like go with plan B here for a second. Hold on a sec. Take that down. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, look, it's still trying to get there. I have never seen that before. All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to Dale Bishop's question, which was the first question posted in the comments today, right? So we'll do that. Again, if you have questions, put a Q in front and it will be so good. If you're watching from the Facebook group and you haven't been here for a while, you might need to click on the comment I put up. I put a comment up right here. You need to click on that and go to that link, StreamYard.com/Facebook. Okay. Because if you haven't been here for a while, then you have to re-authenticate. You have to give Facebook permission to see your name in your face, or your comment will look like this. Now, this is only if you're watching from our Facebook group. If you haven't been here for a while, you probably need to click on that link. I see at least a couple comments coming through. Hello and stay inside and warm. Yeah, so we got some comments coming through. So we're going to get to it. Are they ready? No. Okay. I said I would get to Dale's. I'll do Dale's and then we'll go to those. All right, Mr. Dale Bishop. Dale says, have you heard when they will add the second camera support in StreamYard? I know it was supposed to happen this week. So yeah, a couple weeks ago, Dan Engage announced at the virtual summit that I hosted with them, they have announced that they are going to, you will be able to have 2 webcams in StreamYard. Now, I will tell you, I've not been part of any beta testing group, so I don't know what all this will mean. It could mean that you can switch between cameras like this, and it could possibly just be limited to that, meaning you would do it right inside the studio. Or it could potentially mean you can have 2 cameras on screen at the same time, which is really what I hope it is, because a lot of people have asked for that. I have a workaround. I have a video on my YouTube channel that's a complete workaround to it, but it's not a perfect solution. So I do think that based on people were asking questions about audio possible issues, and they said you won't have those. So I do think that it is going to be 2 cameras on screen at once, which I know a lot of my crafters, I saw Crafting with Kim is here, a lot of my crafting audience members are going to love this, because they will be able to have a camera shining on whatever they're doing, and also a camera on their face, right? Or even just multiple camera angles showing what they're doing. That's what I love to have behind the scenes. You could have a camera behind the scenes, but then you could also have another webcam view of your face, meaning like, this, right? So I don't know what that is. They did say it was supposed to roll out in the next couple of weeks. I do know that sometimes when Dan says that, it could be, literally Dan has said that 2 weeks before, and then 2 days later something came out. The other times he has said 2 weeks and it took 3 weeks. So I haven't heard when. My guess is it is going to roll out this week, but I do not know specifically for sure. But I'm excited about that. I can't wait to get my hands on it, try it out, test it out, and see what all that's going to bring us. It's going to be very exciting for sure. So let's see. Okay, so Jennifer had a question. Okay, Jennifer had a question. Oh, Dr. Elo wants to be in the group. You want to be in our Facebook group? All right, my friend, we'll get you in there. Okay, so here we go. Jennifer says, how much time do you spend waiting for people to watch at the beginning of a live video? It seems like the culture is to spend a ton of time stalling. Okay, so this is actually a really good question. Yesterday on StreamYard's channel, I did the weekly Ask StreamYard show that I always do, and we talked about this. This was actually something that I went pretty deep on. Essentially what we talked about was what's the ideal length of a live video, and one of the aspects was the beginning of your live and understanding some things for sure, right? However, here's the deal. It kind of depends, and it's going to depend on this. Did you schedule the live video? Did you do a lot of time work promoting people to show up to your live video? If you all that pre-work that you do means it's more likely for people to show up at the beginning of your video, because you have created it as an event. If you're randomly going live, if it's a pop-up live, as I call it, you aren't going to have hardly anyone on that live stream for the first 10 minutes at least. So there are some things you can do to create some stalling. Now, the other thing there's also a strategy of you don't have to have people there with you live. Maybe your whole content is like, I want to go live. I want to share some information, knowing that people probably won't be there in the beginning, but I want to get to the point and get out of there, and knowing that most of my viewers are going to be watching the replay. Well, then go into it with that approach, right? Go into it with that strategy, and don't do a lot of stalling in the beginning. You also can do a lot of stalling in the beginning and then edit out the beginning after your video is done. So when you go live, your video will rest. It will stay on the platforms, social media platforms. You can then go back and edit it, and you can trim out that beginning if you want. And if you're going to do that, then what I would recommend is have your beginning of the show. And then when you're ready to make it happen and you're like, I'm going to get to my trimming point here, just say, okay, guys, are you ready to get into this? Let's get into this. All right. Welcome to this week's weekly live Q&A. We're going to dive right in and get into your questions. Boom. That's right where the video would start. After you're done, you would trim it to that point, and then there's your intro. So that whoever's watching the replay is coming in, and you're right there to the point. So it really just kind of depends. It's not necessarily a culture. It's really a strategy, and it all depends on what you're doing. So again, I always say, when you create live videos, you need to go into those live videos with an objective and a bit of a strategy. Some of your live videos don't have to have a strategy. You could just be like, I'm just going to go live and just kind of hang out with my people and do some behind the scenes stuff. That's totally fine, right? So again, not everything has to have this like major goal. But you do, when it comes to having these techniques aligned, you are going to have to understand what are you doing, what's your method going to be. And creating a show flow, creating an agenda is going to help you stay on task with that. So I definitely think that it kind of depends. I will tell you that the other thing is going live consistently, the same day, the same time every week will actually train your audience. You will have more people show up as you begin your live video than if you're kind of going live different times of the week, or just like when you feel like it, you go live. You aren't going to have a lot of people in the beginning of your live, so you are going to need to stall. But if you're one of those really consistent people, then most likely a lot of your viewers will be there. Right now we're 30 minutes in, and I am triple the viewers that I was when my countdown ended. So even 10 minutes of me dancing and trying to entertain y'all, we're triple where we were, right? I will tell you also, we're live on a different day than I normally go live. Normally I go live on Tuesdays. I'm having a really hard time keeping that schedule, honestly, because of my daughter's schedule. Like her schedule is kind of like, things keep happening, and I'm having a hard time keeping that Tuesday schedule. So I'm trying to find another new window where it's like this is never usually affected, because I do find better results when you are same day, same time every week. So I kind of thought, well, let's do it towards the end of the week this week. Maybe Thursdays are better. I don't know. We got a lot of people here hanging out with us, so try different things, but get to a consistent schedule. You won't have to stall as much, right? You won't have to stall as much. So great question, though. I really liked that question. Okay, the next question was, whoops, that's not it. Nope, these are not the right questions. That was a great question, though. These are not the right questions. Those are old questions. But my goodness, where is my thing? There it is, right there. Yep. Oh my gosh. So Craig had the first question, but hey, we all got a bonus question. It happens. Sorry about that. Okay, let me just, we're going to do it this way. We're going to do it. Because I'm not going to wait around. I'm going to get right at it. Oh, remove. We're going to share the application because it took forever to upload that last time. It's good to know, honestly. Okay, so you're going to see the full PowerPoint. I don't really care. We're going to get right to it. Okay, so Craig said, do live streams have more viewers? Get out of there. Do live streams have more viewers at different times of the day? That is, again, another question that it depends. Now, depends on where you are, depends on who your audience is. I will say this, you might need to try different things. I have gone live in the morning, I've gone live in the middle of the day, I've gone live in the evening. For me, in my past, I have never found that one time a day I get more people showing up than others. Personally, Eileen is here, definitely super excited, and Dr. Elo's here as well. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you have found a sweet spot for you. Some people say weekends do it great. Some people say weekends do it great. I'm not probably going to stream on the weekends because my weekends are sort of protected for me. That's not how everybody is, right? I 100% think that you have to try things, see what happens, and just see what you want to do, right? See what works for you. As I always tell people, even if, and I actually went down this spiel yesterday on the Ask StreamYard show too, you might do some research on this and you might get some information back from like all these great, research companies. They're taking lots of data and they're coming in and they're saying, hey, based on what we see, 9 p.m. is when the most people are on social media. Great. That's just data. It's just a suggestion, right? I'm a big proponent of you can take suggestions from experts, even me. Even if I tell you to do something because I think it's great, it's just a suggestion. You don't have to do it. I think what's really critical is that you can find what works for you, where you are able to keep going, keep following up, and absolutely stick with it. So if the experts tell you Tuesdays at 9 p.m. is the best time for you to go live based on certain data, and you're like, okay, I'll do that. But then Tuesdays at 9, it's like really hard for you. You're out of energy. You're trying to get your kids to bed. It's just too hectic for you. And you try it a few times and you're like, this sucks. I can't do this. I'm skipping it this week. Okay, I'll do it next week. That's not going to work, is it? So it's better for you to find something that might be a little less ideal compared to the experts and better for you. So those always take every bit of marketing advice, every bit of strategic advice, every ounce of data, even your own analytical data. It is a suggestion, but it is not like you have to look at it that way and you have to make it work for you, for sure. So Dr. Elo says, I stream on Wednesdays at 6 p.m., but I believe you have to ask your community what works best for them. This is a great suggestion as well. Send a poll out. I will tell you, a year and a half ago, I multiple times I have asked inside the Facebook group, hey, I will create a poll. What works best for you? What do you care? And it was always all across the board. And most people actually said it didn't matter to them. So it just depends on your community, right? Eileen says early morning streams don't do well for her. She said, I guess that's because I'm on the East Coast and most of my audience isn't up yet. So again, as I said, it kind of goes back to your audience, right? So again, if Eileen's on the East, but a lot of her followers are West, then she has to adjust for that too. That is actually one of the reasons I don't stream in the morning either, is because I also have a lot of West Coast people. And I also, for me personally, I like to reserve my morning time for like deep work, hard projects, and working out, right? And so I try not to plan things that are early in the morning because I need to reserve that time for other things. So, just try something, try what works for you. Eileen says, I'm an early riser, so I wish more people went live at 5 a.m. That is so funny. We should all go live for Eileen at 5 a.m. so that she's got something to do when she's drinking her coffee. Maybe she drinks coffee. I'm assuming she drinks coffee. I don't know. Doesn't everybody? Bridget says, Thursdays are great for me. Watching you before I go live tonight keeps the StreamYard stuff fresh on my mind. Going to watch the giveaway tool video right before I go live tonight. Yeah, that giveaway tool is so awesome and it's so easy, right? It's so easy to use. So great question. I was really glad that Craig asked this question. So let's go to the next question that we have in this stack, and it is from Billy, I think. Yeah. So Billy says, does the background music play when you have a guest on? Can they hear it as well? If they don't have headphones on, will there be some feedback on their end? So your guest will hear the music as well, and it will work. In fact, as of right now, nothing mutes the background music. So here, I'll just switch my background music up here because I'm currently pushing Epidemic Sound into our stream, but the background music, I actually really like it. I like the lo-fi for Q&A. I can barely hear that. You guys should be able to hear it. I hope you can. Oh, I know why. There. Now I can hear it. It was my other thing. So you should hear a little bit of music right now, right? Oh, I got to pull. There we go. You should hear a little bit of music. This is inside StreamYard. So if you go to your StreamYard account, go over to the brand tab, scroll all the way at the bottom below backgrounds, and you will see music. You'll see 8 tracks. Everybody has this. All of you have this in your StreamYard account. The background music is like right now, it's nothing mutes it. So even if I go to play a video, that background music is still playing. It doesn't mute it. Your guest doesn't going to mute it. Nothing mutes it, right? You have to manually turn it down if you want to turn it down, or just pause it, stop playing it. Right now it's on loop, so it's going to just keep looping. But they should hear it as well. They should hear that, no problem, which is another reason why you always want to encourage your guests to wear headphones, especially if you have anything else like music playing at all. Now, if your guest doesn't have headphones, then you have to make sure in their audio settings that they have echo cancellation selected on. And if they do that, the application is going to try not to take what's playing out of their speakers, your voice and the music, and let it record from the microphone. Now, I will tell you, echo cancellation has been working really well. I feel like it's working awesome on all applications like Zoom, Microsoft Teams. StreamYard's echo cancellation is great. It is not as great if someone is on a laptop and they're using the built-in mic and their speakers on their laptop, because those items I think are so close together that it does have a hard time with that. And the other thing that's going to happen is what's called ducking. Ducking is when somebody speaks, like if you're ever on a Zoom call and you're both talking at the same time, well, it will you'll literally be like, oh, they just said something when I couldn't hear what they said. It mutes the other person. So that's called ducking. That's really just not a great experience for your audience. So headphones are definitely recommended. Have them wear headphones if possible, for sure. If they don't have headphones on, then just have them go into their audio settings and turn on echo cancellation, for sure. Oh, hold on. I lost. Dang it. I just unqueued a question. Dang it. I just unqueued a question. Keep those questions coming because this is awesome. Oh, I'm sorry. I saw this earlier and I thought it was a really great addition to what we were talking about. When people in my niche try to go live at the same time I do, there have been viewers tell them they would watch if they were not in the same as my show. He made a comment earlier. Doug at SmackDown said, take a look at others in your niche, go live when they're not. That is absolutely something that you could potentially consider, but don't let it hold you back. If there is a perfect time for you, I mean, I used to go live at 1:00 and my mentor and a lot of people that you love to follow, Luria, was live at the same time. And I had to do that for a while. That was just the time that worked for me. And I kind of hated it. And then I ended up adjusting my schedule because I actually like to go be on her shows. I like to be in the comments and learning from her. So, it certainly is something that you can pay attention to if you have an overlap in your audiences, but also, again, do what's going to work for you. You got to do what works for you for sure. So Doug says, echo cancellation messes up music coming from vMix. I will say, if you're streaming music from outside StreamYard, like I'm using Epidemic Sound, I'm using my Wavelink application, which is a virtual audio mixer, to push that audio into StreamYard. He's right. When I have echo cancellation on, it turns off stereo, and I don't find that the music quality is nearly as good as it was supposed to be. So, okay. Oh, this one's easy. Anna, she says, I think you've showed this before. Sorry to ask again. How do you mark the questions in the comments? So in StreamYard, Anna, all the comment feed there, if you hover over the comment, you'll see in the top right-hand corner of the comment a star. And if you click on that little star, it will then put it into the queue. It's super easy, and then you can unqueue it as well. There's also a YouTube video on StreamYard's YouTube channel that's a demo. I think Christian did it, so go watch that. It totally gives you a full tutorial on how to do it. So, okay, let's see. I got to go find a question. Billy had posted a question, and I accidentally unqueued it by accident. So I got to go find that really fast. So hang on. There it is. I got it. Okay, cool. So this was the next question, actually, in the queue of the live comments. Does the StreamYard duck have a name? It does. The StreamYard duck's name is Puddles. Puddles. This is Puddles. That's the name of the duck. And it's Puddles. If you think about it, it's pretty cute, right? Like, it's a duck. It loves to hang out in puddles. So that's the name of the StreamYard duck. Okay, so Whittier says, good morning. What's the best webcam and best lights to get? That is a loaded one. That's a tough one to answer. And the reason that's a tough one to answer is because it all depends on your budget. A lot of it is your budget. So if you're on a tight budget, then you probably are going to be looking at an actual webcam, right? Which honestly, the Elgato Facecam has been super popular, and that's made by Elgato. It is a little bit on the pricier side for just a USB webcam, but there are a lot out there. The Razer Kaio is also a webcam I've seen a lot of great reviews about. Logitech has what's called the Logitech StreamCam. That's probably the one, if you were gonna get a Logitech camera, that's probably the one I would recommend. Just be really careful about spending more than $150 on a webcam, because it is what it is. You can't upgrade it. You can't make it better. Like, it is what it is. If you have more money, right, and you have more budget, then you're going to want to go with something like a Sony ZV-E10. And the reason I say Sony ZV-E10 is because it is a mirrorless camera, and right out of the box, it will plug into your computer, and you just change a setting on the camera, and it will work as a webcam right out of the box. If you wanted to, now it's going to be limited to a certain certain resolution if you do it that way, because it's using a USB cable. But you can upgrade. You can buy a capture card, buy an HDMI cable, and you're looking at another additional. Depends on the capture card you get, but you're probably looking at $150 minimum to, if you get something like a Blackmagic A10 Mini, you're looking at something more like 300, 350 to change that camera from just USB to HDMI, which is then going to give you full resolution. But as I mentioned, that's an upgrade. Then if you wanted to change the lens, get a better lens so that you have a blurred background, you could buy another lens for that camera, upgrade the camera that way. Now you have a $750 camera plus a $350 lens plus a $300 capture card setup. As you can see, it gets pretty pricey, but you can start and then you can add to it. You can also use that camera for vlogging, for taking pictures, much more versatile, right? Whereas a webcam, it really is a pretty simplistic approach, but there's beauty and simplicity as well. It's plug and play. You get it out of the box, you stick it, you put it somewhere, you plug it in, and you have a great webcam. I know Cynthia, Purgatory Paranormal of New York, she has the face cam, the Elgato face cam, and I've gone and checked on her streams. They look great. Her webcam looks great. Big improvement over what she had before. And so it just depends on what you want. Plug and play, there is beauty in that, right? If you're traveling a lot, moving around a lot, you may not want to lug around a mirrorless camera and a tripod and all the things, right? Now, when it comes to lights, again, it depends on your room, your setup, and your needs. I can tell you that you can go buy a $75 ring light and it might be all you need, right? Or you can spend $300 and you can have a couple of flanking lights like I have. I've got 2 Elgato key light airs. That's what we have here. One is reflecting off the ceiling and the wall, and this one is shining up and over, because if it shines right on me, it creates a hot spot. No matter how much I adjust it, it creates a hot spot on my shiny forehead. And so I kind of have them offsetting. Now, if you wanted to go with video lights, some really fancy video lights, you can get shadow boxes. There's so many different lights out there. It depends on your budget. So Elgato makes these. They're great. I think they're like $120 a piece. I can't remember. It's been a while since I bought them. So if you want background lights and fun lights, then you're going to be looking at some LED lights, lava lamps. I love my lava lamps. Those aren't going anywhere. Those are staying in the scene. So those aren't going anywhere. But, webcams, it all depends on your budget, but you just kind of have to identify a budget. Maybe even say, okay, well, interesting. I'm going to save my money. Stick with what I have. I'm going to save my money so I can upgrade later. That's a strategy I also recommend. So let's see. John wants to know, he says, are you going to buy an Elgato Stream Deck pedal? Probably not. Elgato just came out with another device, another piece of hardware, and it is called the Stream Deck pedal. I do not think I will get that. I don't think I will. I think that it makes sense for people who are using their hands while they're streaming. If you're a crafter, you can't maybe get up and push a button on your Stream Deck. So the Stream Deck is this device right here, okay? And with the Stream Deck, it's basically you can program buttons for shortcuts, hotkeys. There's actually profiles where the Stream Deck is totally integrated with certain pieces of software. You can integrate your Stream Deck with StreamYard. Now I'm using it to control my OBS, which is my OBS virtual camera, so that I can change the scenes, which are basically my cameras. I don't need the pedal, but I think it makes sense for some people who, as I mentioned, maybe you're a musician, maybe you're a crafter, you're an artist, and you need your hands while you're streaming. Well, then that pedal basically will control the Stream Deck as I understand it in certain ways. So I personally don't think I'll need it. So no, I don't really plan on getting that one. But that's an interesting question. It's an interesting one. Let's see. Doug is totally picking up on that. Anything in this game, meaning marketing or business, right? What's the best is always a loaded question. Depends is always the answer, though. Yeah, I almost always start any certain questions with it depends, and because it is. If you and I were sitting across the table having coffee, then I'd say, okay, well, let's talk about your current setup. Let's talk about this. Then I would be able to give you more details, but it's hard to answer generalized questions like that, for sure. Another vote for the face cam from Dan Goodwin. He says it rocks. It's cool. Doug says, sometimes I miss the simple setup. I will tell you, I don't disagree with you. I sometimes think to myself, should I be doing this? Is this worth it? Like, I got 2 microphones. I'd love to just have one microphone, but sometimes I have issues and I need that backup microphone. And I also personally like tinkering, but there are times when I'm like, remember when it was just a Logitech Brio and my Blue Yeti hooked into my computer? Pretty simple stuff. Yeah, I sometimes miss that. I saw. Yeah, there it is. So Cynthia says, I don't think I'll use the pedal. Yeah, I don't think so. I personally don't think I'll use it. I will not be purchasing the pedal. She says, I love my Stream Deck, which is good. Okay, more questions. So Vicky had a question. I love this question. She said, if I can only buy one thing, do you suggest Black Deck or Stream Deck first? I think when you said Black Deck, I think what she meant is the Blackmagic A10 Mini. I'm going to assume that, unless Vicky, you correct me in the comments, because I think that's what you're talking about. So this is the Blackmagic A10 Mini. This is the Stream Deck, right? That's my reminder note to do something later. So again, this is going to come back to the only reason you would need this device right here, the Blackmagic A10 Mini, is if you want to hook up multiple cameras. And when I say multiple cameras, multiple HDMI cameras, meaning DSLR cameras, mirrorless cameras, do the phone thing as I showed you earlier. If you don't, then you wouldn't want to purchase this. If you don't own any of those cameras right now and you don't plan to for a while or ever, then you wouldn't need this. This device is a powerful device for video creators because I'm just using it as a capture card and a video switcher, but it can also be used to actually create videos. Like you can actually use the software, record videos like YouTube videos and whatnot with it. So it can do more than what I'm using it for. There's also different ones. So there's like the Blackmagic A10 Mini, the A10 Mini Pro, there's the A10 Extreme. These devices are pretty known in the video world, but you don't need it if you're not going to be hooking up more than one DSLR or HDMI camera. The Stream Deck is cheaper, okay? I recommend if you are going to get a Stream Deck, you get the Stream Deck XL, which is the one you see here. This is the big one. This is the 32 button one. They do have smaller ones that are cheaper, but the more buttons, I'm telling you, it's worth it. This is a powerful piece of hardware outside of streaming even. Like you can use this with Zoom. You can use this, you can create shortcut text entries. It is actually pretty powerful for a lot of applications. And but if you're streaming, it is pretty nice to control certain things. I love this device. I think it's very versatile for what you can use it for. And it's like, but again, do you need it is the question. I mean, for both of these price points, it depends on where you are in your journey of equipment. I would say the first place to start would be upgrade your audio, right? Make sure you have really great audio. Then maybe start looking at, ensuring that you're using software to create better streams. And then maybe even looking at a camera before you go here, right? But that all comes down to, if you tell me, Melanie, I am never going to want to spend that kind of money on a camera, that's fine. You don't have to. Then you definitely don't need the Blackmagic A10 Mini, and the Stream Deck is probably going to be still a great tool for you. So that's kind of what I wanted to explain, right? So yeah. So Dr. Elo's chiming in. The A10 Mini and the Stream Deck are powerful combo. They do different things. They do different things. Now, I will say, if you have OBS and you're using OBS virtual camera or even Ecamm virtual camera, and you just want a video switcher, as long as you have ways to hook your cameras into your computer, maybe you have the fancy Elgato capture card that goes into your PC, or you have two different brand capture cards, that's one way around it. You can actually use OBS to switch your cameras. That's what I was doing before I got the Blackmagic. I still do that. Like when I'm switching to this, that's an OBS change. So the different scenes are set up in OBS, but now one of my scenes is the ATEM. And when I go to the ATEM, I push that button. So now I'm in the ATEM scene on OBS. But because I have two cameras now, I have to then use the Blackmagic to switch between the two fancy cameras, because the two fancy cameras are the ATEM. So the ATEM acts as one webcam input, but I use the piece of hardware to switch between those cameras. And so they do go together, but he's right, they do different things. So you don't even, I didn't have the Blackmagic and I was still switching cameras left and right without it. So definitely one of those things. Okay, cool. So Vicky did confirm she was talking about the Blackmagic, the ATEM. Yeah, okay, cool. So Doug at SmackDown Outdoors says, I use the Stream Deck for Adobe Premiere too. Speeds up the workflow. Yeah, you can use the Stream Deck to control other applications, shortcuts. It's really pretty cool. It's actually really pretty awesome. Janine from Video for Boss says, I've never used OBS. I'm a little intimidated by the thought of it. I will be honest with you. the very first time I ever opened OBS and started kind of tinkering with it, I was like, what is this noise? Like, what? But I watched a few YouTube videos. There's a couple guys out there that have great YouTube tutorials. I haven't found any girls that do any tutorials on it, but I love it. I mean, it's not too challenging once you know what you're doing. So, basically what we're talking about here, this is OBS. And so these are the scenes I talked about. Now I can just use my mouse to change the scenes, right? Y'all know how I do my countdown. Well, the countdown is simply, it's layers, right? So we have the countdown timer that is set as a transparency, which I can actually make it even more transparent. And then I have the ATEM mini underneath that. And then if I want to switch to camera angles, and I go to my other scene, it's the countdown, same countdown timer, which is why it's still counting down, even though I'm switching scenes, right? I can even, sometimes I even go over here and I show you my screen when I'm working on something during the countdown. And then these are just, again, there's the ATEM. These little alerts right here are some stream alerts. So like my buy me a coffee, if somebody buys me a coffee while I'm live, it will pop up on screen. And all this is you go over here and I've got virtual camera turned on. And when I open up StreamYard, when I select my webcam, as long as that's turned on, OBS virtual camera is an option. And I select that, and then that's how I'm able to do all those things I'm doing. OBS works great with the Stream Deck. So all I have to do is I have these scenes, certain ones, not all of them, certain scenes programmed onto my Stream Deck. And so when I push that button on my Stream Deck, like I'm going to right now, I'll push Brio, right? I'll push ATEM timer, and that switches the scenes in OBS, which therefore switches me, right? Because of that. So once you get it, you will actually, oh, do I? Oh, no. No, I have it paused. Okay, I'm closing Epidemic Sound. Sorry, Eileen said, do you have music coming from two sources? I didn't think I did. I don't think I did. I think I had Epidemic Sound paused. Hopefully it doesn't sound crazy. Hopefully. I just actually closed Epidemic Sound just in case. So that's what OBS looks like. That's it. Like that's you just set up your scenes, and your scene is kind of like, I always say, think of it like you're at a stage. You're in a theater, and literally there's a scene, and that scene has a set, and your set is over here. Your different elements of what's on set, and your camera sources are your characters. And you might switch scenes. So it's like, okay, that scene's over. Let's switch scenes. Well, then all that stuff moves out of the way. Other things get rolled out on, and a new character comes out. That's kind of how I always like to describe it. Is your scenes are like those design, the different. Like, are you in the alley singing, or are you in the storefront singing? So your different scenes are that, and then these are the different pieces of furniture and the set design, right? That's kind of the best way to look at it. It's an analogy I've used before. All you have to do is set that up, turn on virtual camera, and you're pretty much good to go. There are a lot of other things that go into it for sure, but you can learn those things. I wouldn't say that I would tell a beginning streamer to start here, but I know that Video for Bosses is not a beginning streamer. She's an advanced streamer. So maybe give it a try. Watch a few videos on YouTube. Go check it out. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool what you can do. Cynthia's definitely given the OBS thing a try. She said, first couple tries with OBS and I gave up, went back, and now it makes so much sense. So much, yeah. And I know I'm not even scratching the surface, but it's pretty cool. It's true. I use OBS to record videos too. So I use it to control my live stream, but I also use it to actually record videos. I have a different scene collection set up for that because audio does play a factor in it. So yeah, so definitely kind of cool. I also saw that we have the greatness of John Ryan here from Coffee Talk and Tech. What is up, my friend? It's good to see you. Also, StreamYard sees the ATEM as a webcam and can use the ATEM as a camera switcher without OBS if you like. Yeah, that we totally talked about that. That is actually a great point. So if you don't want to mess with OBS and you do have 2 HDMI cameras or more, you can get the Blackmagic ATEM Mini, and when you go to StreamYard and you select your webcam, you actually would select the Blackmagic ATEM Mini. The same goes for Zoom, Microsoft Teams. Anywhere you have a webcam source that you select, you would select the Blackmagic ATEM Mini, and you would be able to do exactly what he just said without OBS or any of that stuff. But as I said, it won't work with webcams. It doesn't work with regular old webcams. I think that there might be some adapters out there. John, you can correct me or tell me if you know of them. I did some research on it. I didn't find anything that I felt really confident in as far as like taking a USB webcam and using an adapter to get the Blackmagic to work with it. But that if there are adapters, then you could use multiple webcams and do the same thing. He's probably going to know better than I do on that because he's super techie, super good with hardware and things like that too. Okay, I'm going to keep going with some questions. Let's see. Oh, sweet. So Anna says OBS is fun. She's glad she tried it, but StreamYard is a game changer. Yeah, so I think Anna was originally using OBS to create her live streams and doing it just that way. StreamYard is so much easier, so much more intuitive than any of those applications you install on your systems. Big change, big difference. So you don't need OBS unless you're trying to do special custom things, truly. So it's one of those things I always try to tell people. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so real fast, Lauren Smith, she said, I've been struggling with the pre-setup of try runs. I have the dual cam working for me great, but I get the annoying mic feedback. What headphones do you use? Are they Bluetooth or whatever? So this issue is going to go away once StreamYard releases the dual webcam feature, which I believe is any day, anytime. But if you basically the way to do it now, if you're not using OBS or anything, if you want to have two webcams on screen, there's two ways you can do it. You can create your stream, go get that guest link, and then send it to yourself, and then join with a phone or another browser, whatever you want to do. That's one way you can do it. I don't really recommend it. You can also just open another browser window, go into StreamYard, enter your studio again, and you are literally in there as a second person. But you have controls no matter what window you have open. The issue you'll have is one of those mics needs to be muted, because if you don't, you'll get dual feedback. You'll have dual mic inputs coming in. So you need to mute one of the mics. But the other tricky part is you have to basically disable a speaker on the second input. The way you would do that is on my computer, I actually have more than one audio output to choose from. So I have my headphones that are hooked into my XLR interface. But then I also have an Elgato Wave 3 microphone hooked up that also has a headphone jack. If I wanted to do this, I would just pick that as my speaker, and there's nothing coming out of it. So there's no audio coming out of that because I don't have anything plugged into it. If I selected my speakers, then you would hear feedback, because when I talk in the mic that's not muted, it's going to play out of the other browser where we have the second camera. And so as of right now, there's no setting in StreamYard where you can disable the speaker. So you'd have to kind of like trick your system. The other way you can do it is you can take a pair of headphones. If you're using your phone, you can take a pair of headphones and cut off and plug it in and turn the volume down. Because when you turn your volume down on a mobile device, for whatever reason, it's not truly all the way down, which is the weirdest thing to me. I've never understood that. So that's why you're getting the feedback. It doesn't actually have to do with the headphones typically. You want to mute one of those mics and you need to disable the other speaker. That is a temporary thing, because StreamYard is about to come out with a feature that won't make any of that needed, right? So that's kind of what I wanted to say there about that. Okay, so John is piping in here. You can go USB 3 to HDMI adapter, but kind of why would you? But also the ATEM is great to bring other devices too, like laptop or cell phone. Yeah, I showed that in the beginning because I got one of these finally. When he says, but why, when you say, but why would you? I think what I'm saying is that I was saying earlier, it's pointless to buy a Blackmagic ATEM Mini unless you have HDMI cameras, meaning DSLRs, mirrorless cameras, because you can't use them with USB webcams. It doesn't work with USB. But I think there's an adapter. So if somebody had a couple of great USB webcams and they're not ready to go spend $2,000 on two cameras and lenses, then can they go ahead and buy the Blackmagic and use it with their existing webcams? So it sounds like you can, that there are adapters out there for it. So you'd have to get the adapter for sure. Okay, cool. Mark says, I use the Stream Deck with so many things. Best money I ever spent in regards to equipment. Yeah, if you're going to utilize it, it's an awesome tool. All right, Darina's here. She says, do you ask permission to show someone's questions from a Facebook post in your slides? No, you can. You absolutely can. But it's essentially, you can, but because this is a public Q&A and it's there, I show it. Like it's one of those things. You're right, though. It's one of those things that it just depends on your community. It's probably always best practice to ask for permission. I know that on the Ask StreamYard show, when someone posts a question and we want to feature it in an actual show, then we do ask for permission, because we're literally like, we're putting it in all over the place, talking about it, and they are only posting that in a private group, and they aren't doing it with the intention of, hey, if they use the hashtag Ask StreamYard, then they're essentially saying you can use this, right? When I say post your questions for our Q&A, then they're essentially saying you can use this, right? So it kind of just depends on the situation. If you are actually pulling someone's post up that's in a private group, then you have to be careful. You do have to just be careful. But as far as I understand, anything that's public, that they post that's public, is free game. You can actually use it. And that's why we see a lot of social media stuff all over the news and all kinds of things. It's free game because it's a public platform. And so you can. Now you have to be very careful, especially if you're benefiting from it in a monetary way. That's a whole different can of worms that I'm not even going to get into, because I am not an attorney, nor do I ever even want to be one. So there you go. That's a great question. It's a really good question. Anna says, can I use movie clips during my stream to drive a point to my teaching? So when you say movie clips, as long as you have the rights to those clips. So if you create a video, like if you're like, hey, yeah, you absolutely, any video clip that you create or that you have the rights to use, yes, you can totally use it in your streams. If you're on a StreamYard paid plan, like the basic plan or the professional plan, you can just upload those videos right into your video section and play them midstream. I've done that many times, little tutorials. In fact, I always say, if you're in the kind of space where you're doing a stream and you want to do a tutorial, but you don't want to do it live, but you still want to show it, so people how to do something, then pre-record it so you can get it the way you want, and then just upload it as a video, and then you can play the video in the middle of the stream. I've done that tons of times. Also, really great for maybe if you've interviewed somebody and they can't show up live, and you want to just share a few clips of the interview, you could do it that way. You're still live, you're talking about your interview, and then you say, okay, let's go with the next question I asked, Ryan, and then they play that clip, and then the clip will be done, and then you can talk about it, get feedback from your people, and then play the next clip. Like, you can totally do that in StreamYard. It's so easy. All you do is get the MP4 files, and you just upload them into your video section. And that's an easy way to do it. You can also play videos by sharing your screen, as long as you share the audio as well. It's a little bit less quality and a little clunkier for you. And then you can also do the video share feature, which is when you go down to share your screen, you can actually click share video and play a video that's native on your computer. Again, the quality tends to be better if you just upload it into the StreamYard studio before you do it. But that's a really fun way to get some extra engagement, had a lot of awesome, great things. So see you, Dr. Elo. It's good seeing you. See you. Thanks for being here. Okay, so let's see. Ryan's back with he's got some questions, I see. So Ryan says, I can't wait to get paid at midnight tonight to buy the Shure MV7. Then get the boom arm, XLR cable, and an audio interface box. My question is, what XLR cable and audio interface box? Okay, so XLR cables, gosh, John Ryan, if you're still here, he is so much better with audio stuff than I am. I do know this. I know that XLR cables come in like good, better, best. And so I know, do not get the super duper cheap one. That's definitely key. And then the other thing is, and I don't know, I mean, the brand Roland, I think, does that sound right? Yeah, Roland is a good brand. So, but then Roland actually has good, better, best as well. So I would say shop it, look at the different options, and you aren't going to need to buy something that's super duper high end, most likely. Now, if you were a musician and doing all this like really high end stuff, you'd want to buy super high end stuff, right? But that's just one of those things. Okay, so I want to say this, but I'm not sure I want to say this. So Ryan has been in the stream, and he's been trying to figure out what microphone to get. He was kind of trying to decide back and forth. He was thinking about the Blue Yeti. We kind of convinced him to get the Shure MV7, which is this microphone right here. But this microphone does require XLR cable. I mean, you can use the USB, but we were all talking to him about what does he want in the future. He's going all in, it sounds like. So he's going XLR cable, audio interface. The audio interface, I would get the Wave XLR. So that's an Elgato product, Elgato Wave XLR. That's the one I would get. It is a newer product. A lot of the other audio interfaces that we see out there have been around forever, kind of like those Logitech 920 cameras. I personally have been, the Scarlett Focusrite, which is the red box, is really popular. I've been having issues with it. I swear it's that box that I'm having issues with. But the Wave XLR is, I believe, actually Coffee Talk. Yeah, there we go. Bam, there he is. I think he's got a Wave XLR, and I think you've been really happy with it, if I'm not mistaken. Plus, if you buy that, you are going to get the fun and awesome Wavelink software with that, which is you only get the Wavelink software if you own a Wave XLR or a Elgato Wave 1 or Wave 3 USB microphone. And so that's how I'm able to do different audio things. It gets pretty fancy, gets pretty techy, but he's asking, what are you using the audio interface for? If I'm not mistaken, he's going to be using this for a podcast and for streaming. I think if I'm correct. But okay, here's what I was going to say. I cut myself off. So there's this new company that has just come out with new products. It's called Beacon, Beacn. Okay. And I'm pretty excited about it. I love my Shure microphone. It's great. I love my Elgato Wave 3 microphone. But this Beacon company, these are the guys that created the Go XLR, and they left that company and created their own company, and it is called Beacon. And I cannot wait until the mix and create. Mix and create, the hardware is back in stock, because I am buying it. And I am going to see if it's better than the Wavelink application, which I use. I have issues with it. John, one night you were streaming Coffee Talk and Tech. He was streaming one night and he was talking about the Wavelink application, and he was saying, it's like all these things. You get them and, they're not going to always be perfect. He was like, you kind of have to burp it like a baby. And I had never heard that before. And I literally knew exactly what he meant, because it is kind of finicky. Like I to this day still have annoyances with this application. Sometimes it will change my audio output, and then I have to go fix it, and then I gotta do this. It's kind of a pain in the butt sometimes. But I really, really, really like the fact that this Beacon company came out with a hardware that goes with the software. It looks like it's gonna be so awesome. And I'm curious if you're thinking about getting it too. But okay. I'm mad at Beacon. I just bought a Go XLR. Dang it. Return it, right? Return it. I mean, I'm getting that thing. But also, the reason I'm saying this is because they also have released a microphone. Now, it is a USB microphone, but it's expensive. It's really expensive, but it's different. It's got some different technology in it. It's pricey. If it were cheap, I'd probably go ahead and just get one so that I could play around with it and try it out. But it's pretty pricey. And I'm like, man, I don't know about that. If I can't have all these things, right? I'm curious what John thinks about this, because I know he's a big audio person, big time. But anyways, Ryan, the only reason I'm saying this is because based on what you're describing and all the money you're going to be spending for this mic, which is an awesome microphone. I love this microphone. If you can wait, I don't know. This Beacon mic, it's promising. It's really promising. Here's the thing that we all have to deal with. There's always going to be new stuff coming out. Always going to be new toys coming out. And it can be challenging, right? It can be really challenging. So, okay. John's chiming in. I absolutely love the Wave XLR because of what it can do. The Beacon is not better, but go for it and let me know. That's hilarious. I love it. I don't know. I'm gonna get the Mix and Create. I'm gonna get that. Now, the Mix and Create is only an audio mixer. It only has one input. It will let you. You have to use the software to control things. So it's different than the Go XLR as well. So they are different. It's just kind of interesting. Doug's saying the mic sounds great in all the reviews. I'll wait a year and then see what the reviews are. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to go watch it. There's a few. You have to be really careful about those reviews, because people really like they really like to be very positive in their reviews, because they want to keep relationships healthy. But then there's a few people out there that literally spend their own money. They buy the product and they do their reviews, and they are super unbiased. Almost all the reviews that you're seeing out there right now about all the Beacon products are because Beacon sent all of those people a product in advance, made them sign a non-disclosure. They sent the product to them in advance, and literally the day that the product went on sale, all these videos got released. But they've had those. They were sent those for free. They're not almost all of them say, "Hey, we're not sponsored by them. They're not paying us for this." Blah 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 blah. But you know what I mean. So podcastage. There's a guy out there, his name's Podcastage. I don't know if he's done a review yet. I'm sure he will eventually. And then ePost Vox. I really like his channel because he gives really honest reviews. And no matter what, right? No matter what. And then Doug says, that's why I'll wait a year to see the normal people review. Right. You have to be careful with that, right? So one of those things. Okay. So it's just something to kind of be thinking about. It's a lot of people are really excited about this Beacon brand, but it's also brand new. It could have issues because it's brand new, right? It happens a lot with brand new products, brand new companies. So there's a lot to think about there. What I would say to Ryan is, if you're totally set and you're good to go, you cannot go wrong with this mic. You cannot go wrong with it. It's an amazing microphone. You're going to be doing really well. Again, though, that focus, I just wouldn't recommend it anymore. Unless you need to use an instrument with it, because it has an input for an instrument. But I don't think that's what you're doing. I would go with Coffee Talk and Tech's recommendation. I have the Wave XLR. I have been this close to pulling the trigger on buying a Wave XLR and getting rid of that thing. So I do think that the Wave XLR is a great piece of hardware. I've seen nothing but great reviews about it. Eileen has a question, if she's still here. Any idea when the new second camera option is going to show up in StreamYard? I know Dan said it was coming this week, but I still don't have it. Yeah, somebody asked this question earlier as well. He said 2 weeks. That was 2 weeks ago. I know, Dan, that sometimes he'll say 2 weeks and 2 days later the feature gets released, and sometimes it takes a little longer. So hopefully anytime, hopefully really, really soon. I know they're trying to get it out this week, but they're also really, really good about making sure everything's good to go. So it could be any day, honestly. It really, truly could be any day. I do not know, though. I wish I did. But it's coming. It's coming. It's going to be exciting. Anna says, how can I check the power of my computer to support all of the pieces of equipment, especially 2 cameras? Oh, I'm not really good with this stuff. Real quick, that is a really great point, Mark. That is a really, 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 really good point. Is right now their products, I think the microphone, I think the mic will work with any platform. But you're absolutely right. I believe that I think you're absolutely right. The software and the hardware only works on PCs. So that's a really, really, really good point. Okay, let's see here. I need to go back to, Doug says, just plug everything in and see if it works. There are ways that you can test it. It's your CPU usage. There are a couple things that come into play. How much, RAM do you have on your computer? How much, CPU usage are all the things you're using going to come into a factor here? I wish I had a really, really good, strong answer for you. I just don't. I just know that I had a computer that was doing fine, and then it was struggling. So OBS is a application that takes a lot of power, and I was struggling with getting some things to work the way I wanted them to because I was running out of power. So it just was kind of a struggle. So I was ready to upgrade my computer. I went with a gaming computer because gaming computers, almost all of them, have all the same specifications that we need as video creators, as streamers, because of the RAM, the dedicated graphics card, the number of inputs. The number of inputs is also something you want to look at. So it's hard. The Macs, a lot of the new MacBook Pros, the MacBook Minis are all great machines as well. If you've got something like a Chromebook or a Microsoft Surface from a few years ago, probably not going to work very well. Laptops, especially like the light laptops they're just kind of, typically can't handle the stuff as well. So, but as far as testing it, yeah. So John is saying power, or do you mean supply? Do you mean power supply or CPU? She's probably meaning CPU is what I'm guessing. Meaning just how is her computer going to be able to handle multiple webcams and things like that? It can sometimes cause problems. But this is why everybody needs to go follow John's channel, Coffee Talk and Tech, because this is the kind of stuff he talks about. He's like, y'all like me, I'm pretty techie, but I'm like literally surface level tech. But like John is like, yeah, he's talking about like VSTs and all these things I haven't even figured out how to do yet. Like way, way, way more techie than me. I love his stuff because he goes deep on that stuff. You might even have a video on this very topic, John. I don't know. And if you do, feel free to share a link for us in the comments. Okay, I saw some more questions. Lauren had a question. She said, what would you tell crafters to do for live sales / linking? I keep wondering if linking my website to a banner for streams to click into for live purchasing and wait for my site to update is best. I keep wondering if linking my website to a banner for streamers to click into for live purchasing and waiting for my site to update is best. Can you rephrase that question for me, Lauren? I'm not totally sure what you're getting at. There's a couple of strategies here. So live sales, being online, not just Amazon Live, but like just you're online and you're like promoting stuff, right? I definitely think having links ready, sharing them in the comments, because if it's on a banner like down here, you can't click on it. It's just a graphic. Think of it as a graphic. Putting it in the comments right there where your viewers are, adding it to the description, being able to say, hey, the link is in the description for you to sign up, or the link is in the description for you to go check out those products. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you don't do it now it depends on what your show is. I'm going to back up here. As Doug said earlier, it depends. If your show is all about your products and you're showcasing them, like kind of like what we see on Home Shopping Network and other things, and you're sharing new stuff, that's fine. Your audience is used to that. But like here, if I were on my stream all the time and I was always promoting something, like constantly, like go enroll in my program. I don't have any products right now, right? But if I had like Canva templates or other things, if I were constantly pitching it, it could feel a little bit annoying to my audience if I was always pitching myself, right? And so I do think there's a balance act with it all. But, certain show types, certain product, certain industries, it's totally fine and totally appropriate. Just careful about overdoing it. But do make it easy for your audience. The other thing you have to think about is anytime you're going to share a link mid-stream or something, you might lose your audience. So the viewer might click that link and then go to your site, and then they may not come back. So be careful when you talk about the links too, because if you need them to know something, then make sure you get that out first before you start sharing the link, because they are now going to be maybe redirected and they may not come back to your stream. So kind of one of the things you have to think about too. Okay, let's see here. Like the shopping network. Exactly. I was just having this conversation last night. Literally, like, so if I was like, the Home Shopping Network has been around forever, but we can now go as creators, as people that make jewelry. She makes jewelry. We can do our own Home Shopping Network. You could even invite friends of yours that maybe sell products that aren't just like yours, and you can kind of help each other sell your products, right? Just like they do on the Home Shopping Network. And so, yeah, but the other thing is, what I've seen people do that's really smart is they create a page on their site, and then we will have one cam with rotating display. Okay, they create a page on their site and they are live updating that page. And so it's always being refreshed and updated with the next product, the next product, the next product. So it kind of keeps people, they have both open. I've seen that before. It requires you to have someone literally updating your site while you're on screen. So it's a little bit of a different type of setup, but it's one of those things that's pretty cool. So yeah, 2 cameras, one with my face talking about them, etc., but struggling with structure. So, this is where potentially, once that second camera thing comes out, Lauren, this is where you might want to find a peer or a friend or even hire a VA to help you run the show behind the scenes. Meaning you're focused on this, you got 2 cameras going, and somebody's behind the scenes switching the camera views and changing things up. Now with StreamYard Teams, everybody has an extra teammate. You can add another user to your account, and they can help you produce your stream while you're focused on the audience, right? So that might be something to think about as well. John says, I just like helping streamers and YouTubers. See, we're like the same. We're like the same people, right? He's good people. Okay, let's see here. There you go. You got a new subscriber, John. Janine, she's coming your way. I haven't been able to watch John's shows lately. I need to get back on that. He tends to go live in the evenings, a little bit later in the day. Okay, here is another question I see. Or should I keep an ongoing list? Okay, this is a follow-up to the question. Sorry, I saw this. Or should I keep an ongoing list to send out invoices individually after the stream is done? How would I gather customer info? Oh, this is complicated. Or should I keep an ongoing list to send out the invoices individually after the stream is done? How would I gather customer info? Ooh, so Lauren, honestly, when it comes to live shopping like that, I think it's probably best, if possible, if you're doing invoicing, okay, like if you're saying somebody places an order, and then you're saying, okay, I'm going to go make that for you, and then I'm going to invoice you for it. that is one way you can do it. If you're doing it that way, then what I would do is I would look into like having them fill out a form, and then that form comes in, and that's how you send them a link, they pick what they want, but then they fill out a form somehow. The other thing you might want to think about, you are going to pay some fees, but it's going to be a much better process for you and your user, is maybe just like setting up some, like using Stripe, using PayPal, any of those types of things where you're getting that money and then you're fulfilling the order. An Etsy shop, for example, you could even set up an Etsy shop. That's just going to be easier. You are going to pay some fees, but again, those fees are for convenience, right? It's going to be a lot less pain for you. The other thing is just setting up an e-commerce type of thing on your site. So there's a lot of options out there for that, for sure. But if you need to do it kind of this way you're describing, then maybe have them fill out a form, right? She says, I have Wix. Yeah. Okay. So Wix is definitely a beginner hobbyist style website. But you're going to be limited on what you can do there. So you might want to start to look at something like a Squarespace, or like I said, even just setting up an Etsy shop and then having your Etsy have that link on your Wix site, go to the Etsy shop, right? It's been a long time since I've helped someone with anything around Etsy like that. Bridget says, we do our live shopping that way. We do all our discussions in DM, then send a PayPal invoice. Okay, so there you go. You can say DM me, get their information, and then you can send them a way for them to pay via PayPal. So, and people are pretty used to using things like PayPal now. But again, Stripe has great options as well. You might want to look into those. But again, there are also e-commerce websites. There are e-commerce platforms that you might want to look into. Not Squarespace, the other one. There's another one. I think even Stripe has a way you can create a website. But she says we don't send them to the website until after they buy. There you go. There you go. So the two of you should connect on that one. All right. So that was a good question. Those were just good questions. You know what I liked about this today? I liked how you guys asked me questions about gear, live streaming, but also some strategy stuff too. I really like digging into strategy. It's actually a ton of fun. It's one of those things I really enjoy doing. So there you go. Here's another suggestion for you from Vicky. She says, Back to Earth Creations does lots of online live sales in YouTube. Maybe check out how they run their sales. Yeah, and honestly, don't be afraid to reach out. So on a YouTube channel, if you go to the About tab, a lot of times there will be a way that you can get an email address and send somebody an email. The thing that's different about YouTube is you can't DM somebody, right? But you can try to find them on Facebook and send them a DM over there if they have a Facebook page. But a lot of times those websites or the YouTube on the About page, it'll actually have a way that you can get an email. Maybe just reach out. I will tell you, the crafting community, so many of you are in here, and I love it. I love helping crafters and creators and things and makers. And so many of you, one thing I've always said about that is that you guys are so like good with helping each other. Like it's one of those things where I think it would be very easy for you to feel like, oh, they're competition, but there are so many of you and people love to shop different places. I love that you help each other. I think that's super, super cool. So one of the things I always have always been a big fan of in that community. So, all right, my friends, well, we are going to wrap this one up today. This has been a lot of fun. Again, you're listening to the background music. That's inside your StreamYard account. All of you, if you're using StreamYard, have this, okay? And so background music, I'll turn it up. There you go. That's the lo-fi, right? It's the lo-fi. I'll turn it back down. So that's what's playing. It's copyright free. Everybody has 8 tracks to choose from inside their StreamYard account. That is one of the newest features that StreamYard came out with. It's super freaking awesome. I absolutely love it. And all plans have it, but if you want to stream in 1080p, if you want to multi-stream like I am today, Facebook, YouTube, and if you want to display custom graphics at all, then you would need a paid plan. And so if that's you, then go to my link. I'm a partner with StreamYard, so I'm able to offer you a 14-day free trial on the professional plan, and then it's just going to downgrade you to a free plan after that. No big deal. I don't care. I just want you to go tinker and try out new things and see how awesome and easy StreamYard is. It truly is really easy, and it is really great. And if you have any questions, pop over into our Facebook group and feel free to ask questions in there. StreamYard also has a Facebook community. It's very large and in charge, but if you want a small community of other DIYers, come hang out with us over in the DIY Marketing with Melanie Facebook group. All you need to search is DIY Marketing with Melanie. In Facebook, you'll find it, answer the questions, and then we'll let you in and we'll hang out with you and we'll do all those cool things. So all you have to do is go to StreamYard or melaniediane.com/StreamYard to get that free trial. Use any of those links and it will be great. And you'll get it signed up and it'll be good. So, all right, my friends. Well, until next time, I will see you later. I hope you have a great day. If you are getting snow today like I am, please be safe out there, make smart decisions, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
I've been holding on, I wouldn't let you go. 'Cause every time I try, you find a loophole. I've been slamming the door and just leave you cold. When I come back, you've heated up the South Pole.
I clicked on the wrong thing. I clicked on the wrong dang thing, and then I accidentally closed the browser, which if any of you know, you need to know this, that this is the encore. StreamYard, if you just close your browser, it will not close your stream. It will not end your stream. You have to click the red button that says end broadcast. I literally went up and I accidentally hit one of the countdown videos that I still had in my thing. And then I literally closed the browser. I was like, oh shoot. So I had to come back in and I was like, they're just hanging out wondering why a new countdown just started. So my bad, clicked the wrong thing, but there you go. Things happen. It's okay. We're live. We have fun with it. So I came back so I could actually officially end the stream, which I'm going to do now. So if you saw that, there you go. That's how it works.